I feel like humans are currently going through a shift. What I mean by that is certain values we held on to when, in the 80s or even way back then is no longer acceptable. For example, honesty. Honesty used to be a thing that was valuable. It was precious. It was precious to most of us. It had a sense of honor. People cared about honesty. People want you to tell them the truth. It was respected. Now, I've only been alive for 24 years. And from the time I was conscious, which is like 2, 3, till 24 years old, I noticed this change right before my eyes. Now, I'm not talking about everybody. I'm not even talking about majority, but there's people out there that generally don't give a fuck about the truth. I was at a bar yesterday and I was sitting right next to a trans woman. Is it a trans woman? So let me see. I want to get this right. It's a man that transitioned to a woman. I think that's what a trans woman is. Correct me if I'm wrong. I was sitting right next to her and we was having a nice conversation. It went from sports to technology. Essentially, the conversation steered towards social issues. She was explaining how she goes through a lot. People don't understand her, are being treated as second-class citizens. She was telling me her societal plight and venting her frustrations. So I'm sitting there listening because I don't talk to trans women often. So I was curious of, how she think in particular. So the conversation went on and she asked me a question that she did not want the answer to. She looked at me and asked, "What can I do to be treated as a woman in this country? When am I gonna get the respect as a normal human being?" I looked at her and said, "You want me to be honest?" She said, "Go for it." So I told her, "Listen, when it comes to being happy, I think everyone is entitled to that. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be treated as such. Me personally, I don't have a problem calling you a woman. I don't have a problem using the phrase like she or her. I don't lose nothing, so it doesn't bother me to that extent. The problem comes in when it starts fucking with my psyche." And I gave her an example. I said, imagine we're in a sinking Titanic and the captain comes on and say, "Hey, let's gather the women and children so they can go on the life raft first." You're not going before me. That's where all that shit stops. You're not skipping the line because you interpret yourself as a woman. That shit's not gonna fly. So me calling you she, her will only exist until it starts fucking with my psyche and real life scenarios. So she looked at me, threw her drink in my face, and proceeded to walk away. So my initial thought is, I'm about to sock this bitch right in the back of her fucking head. Because you don't disrespect me like that. So as I watch her walking away with my fist balled up, I had a second thought. How is the local news gonna react to this? How are they gonna portray me? Black man, assault trans woman at a local bar. So I thought to myself, this is a lose-lose situation. If I win, I get bashed by the media. And if I lose, it's gonna be portrayed as a trans woman defending herself at a local bar. So I looked at her, walked away, and I just turned around, finished my beer, and went home. Now, back to my original point. When it comes to honesty, there's not a group for it. No one's protecting honesty. There's no march for honesty. There's no march for truth. There's no march for independent thinking. It doesn't exist. People don't fight for the truth no more. It's slowly becoming obsolete. And it's sad. It's fucking sad. But more of that story, let's bring honesty back. Let's bring conversations back. Now, please do not trash trans women in the comment section. That's not the message that I'm trying to preach. The only reason why I even filmed this is to express how we need to bring back conversations, honesty, and opinions. So, I'm out.